Blustery day. It wasn't that way in the beginning, our logo printed lightly on the diaphaneity of the day's exuberance, like the escutcheon we bear into the insignificant skirmishes of an afternoon storm and its shivering pathos. The clouds scoot in with the endless pities presented or repealed with the rapidity of flimsy newspapers scotch-taped against the sky. A few leaves plastered to the sidewalk by the rain's turbulence. A frenzied afternoon of coffee and cream and the continual stirring about in the espionage of our quotidian selves, the disguises, the last-minute flights to Cairo. Our apartments like the chambers of government buildings and the negotiated protocols, the office intrigues, the Xerox machines. With a sudden craving for chicory salad and mulled cider when the rain lets up, some of us blow down to a cafe we know whose neon lights now seem crisp as fresh carrots. A perky waiter brushes up, gorgeous brooch dangling from the escarpment of a lapel. The rain glistens on the window like new tears we might freely give to the heartaches of tomorrow. The Albatross on land. I had thought of you mated to wind and sea and to the flesh of the sea, the body's rumpled self rolling back and back in its bedclothes, a dreamer wrestling with the sinking fathoms. Quick to the quiver of fish, a plunge to the thick of it, a thumb and finger extinguishing the candle that flickers like a corpuscle in the body's darkened chambers. But thrust into the stiff breeze, a lump of rock and a patch of sedge where you return to brood on mudcakes constructed for the purpose. The cliffs are slick with droppings. From the craws, the wind plucks screeches and carries them through the grasses. The wings won't stay shut, but hang crooked and bang like clattering shutters in a gale. And here you find the tender stretch of necks, the clack of beaks, the rising from the feet and circling like a gavotte, a gallivant of half-spread wings, the smoky undercolor exposed. Across the waters linger lights of the fabulous, stuck to dark's fabric, the literal ships, far from where you huddle in flocks, not domesticated, but domestic, thinking of the sea's eternal noise. The Lost Orphanage at Montfort. Strolling by lakeside at dusk, two stars poke out like the eyes of animal night. They are reflections, shimmering. They replace what lies below, the gloom inhabited by fish. Ripples whisper on the water and the fiery scallop shells of clouds undulate with the chromaticism of daylight in a distant land. It is only at this moment that one observes the cross, naked, etched out amongst the trees, stooping on the well-rounded hill, marking the lost orphanage at Montfort. Turning back, it is the immense dark and tangible cold that surprise. Last light itemizes the remaining images I might carry home, the placid waxy green of the lily pads, 2 or 3 individual spruce and their black ice-sharp needles. I pick up a rough, burnt-out cinder, a relic of the old railroad. How is it, in the singularity of this metamorphic dark, that there exists this aching continuity? I walk as I walk, as long as there is locomotion. The natural moose. This forest is coextensive with the mind's expanse of spruce and pine and snow. Through it, the moose meander mechanically in uncanny circular tracks, following the map of their antlers' tedious pointing. And here they come again in an eternal return through space already occupied by their previous going, until you stop dead to see one by the side of the road. It has entered your map of asphalt disappearing over the hills. What is your name, and what are you called, it seems to say, and how did you bring me here? The crown of thorns lacerates your passing. Is there an acrid odor? Is it original response? But the night is as cold as white china, and the air is a dinner plate with a fine-edged crack. The moose disappears back into its habit, and one night as you stand at the sink washing dishes, the phantom moose vanishes, so you drop the plate. It lands on an edge and circles back on itself. It doesn't break, the spruce arched in the dark, and the pine thinking itself alone. The reunion. The train pulls into a small station in the early morning. From my upper berth, I can see we are on the prairie. The rails do not meet at the horizon. Death was instantaneous, someone says. And how could it be otherwise, unless it is forever figured in everything I can see to the horizon, plus everything I can see in every horizon afterwards. I'm not a farmer, but the grain looks ready for harvest, bushels and silos, the emotional life. Doesn't it always look ready, that is? Which is why I know these people milling about the platform, and why a hardened rail runs through our lives, forwards and backwards. And when we arrive where we started, it's a leafy, eastern, suburban accumulation of the good life, as strange as China, and as familiar as the home we always wanted. In the instant the train pulls out, the horizon changes, is changed, we change, and the grain wavers in its expected way. The wheelchair. To compensate for the body's weakness, it is full of nifty springs and levers that click and slide metallic armatures into gentle positions of support. Its fluting pipes glitter with shiny utopian cleanliness, like the miniature dream of some long-gone industrial epoch. The whistle of the vinyl as it accordions open is almost like breathing, a breath sucked in surprise at a surprising agility, or its lack. So too the effortless wheels that spin easily augur no fortune, no giddy heights or plunging despair. Only the handles in their subtle tug suggest the weight of a body and its useless appendage. But they do so in a perfect caress without touch, that transmutes pain into the nubs and knuckles of the plastic grips by which I hold you, move you. A sedentary day of casual words unraveled. Let this serviceable metaphor wheel us through one more turning, by which I bring you to a bed and another round of sleep.